Welcome to the video on how to work your practice independent projects. You do these after you do the sim book, so it's sim book project, and then you move to the next chapter. Every chapter is going to have at least one sim book and one project. So at this point, let us assume that we've already done the sim book, which is your textbook, and if you want to see your grade, you go to your grade book, which you have one. I may not because I'm an instructor, but there's a grade book over here somewhere for students. So we've done that. Now we're going to move into the project. I'm just picking one, so I'm logged in as a student here. Okay, you're going to see all of this. You see basically three steps here, okay? Now, you should have already, via my announcement, created these directories on your jump drive. If you haven't done that, then you need to pause this and go do that before you continue. Okay, under projects, I've got Word Project. Well, you can sort it differently, but Word Project 1, 2, and 3, Excel Project 1 and 2, Access Project 1, excuse me, and then PowerPoints 1, 2, and 3. And that's the number of chapters we're covering. Here's a best practices document under download files. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to put these in the associated directory. This is Word Chapter 1 Independent Project. So this is Word Chapter 1 Project. That's what we're going to be doing. Best practices, you can open that and read it if you want. It's going to keep haranguing you about it, but typically what you want to do is read it the first time, and it's the same document every time. But let's go ahead, and since you're using Google, you need to right-click, Google Chrome. You need to right-click on Best Practices, Save Link As, find your device, find your directory. I created it in 146 directory, and I put my projects under that. You don't have to. It's kind of, but I would do the projects and everything under there because you'll get lost. You'll start saving them to your computer's hard drive. You may be in one lab, think you got it on your jump drive and leave, and now your work is gone. So always tell it where to put things. You have to be specific. If you're not, it's going to stick it on your C drive network users here on campus. It may not do it at home, but it will here. And it's just tough to find. I don't want you to lose your work, believe me. So under projects, this is what? Word Chapter 1. So we find Word Project 1. All right, so we're going to save this file in here. Basic stuff. Here are your instructions for every project. You'll have a set of instructions that they're going to tell you what to do. All right, so we're going to save the link as. Again, it's already going to point to where you were unless you get up and do something else. There's our instructions in PDF format. And then this is our start file. This is required. Okay. Now notice you have 3 attempts on these. So every time you do an attempt, if you don't get everything you're supposed to get, there's a report that will be generated, and we'll look at that in a moment. And you can go back and fix it until you get all 20 points or close to it. All right, let's go ahead and save this. And now I'm putting, and notice it puts your name on there, okay? Put it in the same place. Now don't freak out because you don't see anything. It's just looking right now at Microsoft Word documents. Those other files are in there. You have to tell it if you want to see them. It's no big deal. They're there, but they're different file types. So I'm going to go ahead and save all that. Okay, now sometimes they're going to have zip files over here. Now you'll need to go back to your file management section and review how to do a zip file, because you'll have to download that one file and extract it into the directory on your USB drive. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems. That's exactly what it is. If it's not letting you do certain things, then that's the problem. You've got to download that zipped file, that archived file, onto your jump drive. You right-click on it, click Extract All, tell it where to put it, and that's going to be in the same location we just were, and it'll extract all your data files. Okay, that's something you definitely need to know how to do. Okay, so I've got all my files here. So my file manager is Word Project 1. They're all my files. Now, the best practices you can read offline. I'm not going to go through that, but it does tell you a lot of things. You need to read that and understand it. This is basically, this is Word, so that's a .docx. And if you don't have that on, where you see that, go to View, and make sure that file name extensions are turned on. Okay, and you'll have to do that every different computer you set at. Once you do it on one computer, if you're always sitting at that computer, then you'll be fine. Before I open this start file, I need to look at the instruction file, which is a PDF file. Okay, here it tells me what we're going to be doing. Step 1, we've already downloaded the file, okay? All right, it says the file will be renamed automatically. It includes your name, change the project file name if directed. I'm not directing you to do that. Just leave it the way it is because it's going to go in under your account. You'll get your grade. I won't have to worry about who it is. So you don't have to change that, okay? So remember that. Excuse me here. You don't have to rename it. Okay, the first step here after this, which basically you don't have to do anything. We've already done that. Select the entire document and make the following format changes. Okay, so you go back to your Word document, which we got to open. I'm going to minimize this, come back over here, open it up. It says select the entire document, so I'm going to go Control A, which you would have learned that already. I've selected it all, and I need to go back to my SIMnet independent instructions. Okay, and it says change the before and after paragraph spacing to 0 point. So let's find our Word document. All right, so there are different ways to do this. I got a paragraph. Indentation, spacing before and after, they want it set to 0. Whoops. I'm going to do that. Okay. I got that part done. I go back to my PDF, and it says change line spacing to single. All right, so back to my Word document. Right-click, paragraph, line spacing to single. See that? That's how you work it. And change paragraph alignment to left. Line spacings, journal alignment left. Okay. Now again, if you get stuck on this, if you say, well, I don't know how to do the paragraph alignment, or I don't know how to do this, what do? You go back to your sim book, look for the relevant topic, click on it, go in there. You can go to Show Me. They'll show you how to do it. Everything that's in here pretty much is in those sim books. You just have to kind of hunt for it. All right. And it says change the font and font size to Calibri 11 points. So I go back to my document, right click, font, and I can probably do paragraph or font. It doesn't matter. Different ways to do it. Calibri. So C, Calibri, and it's regular and 11 points. Different ways to do it. Okay. There. Okay, so, all right, now what I'm going to do now, well, show, hide, and press enter. Okay, there's your show hide button. Press enter. Well, you definitely don't want to press it while everything's selected. Delete it. Okay, so I've done that a couple of times. All right, so now let's see that, of course, you got to type all this. Anyway, you'll get down to the end of step 1, which is pretty long, but there's not that much to it. It shows you what your final document's going to look like. Step 1 is the whole thing, basically. And then it says, upload and save, step 2. Submit project for grading, step 3, all right? So now what I'm going to do, and I skipped all that stuff, so I'm going to have a bunch of things wrong, but that's okay because you get 3 tries. So I'm going to save it, close it, and then I'm going to go back. Let me close this real quick here. All right, now I'll go back to SIMnet, which I left open. Notice step 2, upload my file. Yeah, I'm going to have to refresh the screen here, I think. Yeah, there it is. If you don't see this button as enabled, you have to refresh the browser. Press F5, or you can come over here and do it. And that's what I had to do. So upload my file. Now it's enabled. There's my file. Make sure you upload what they're asking for. Don't upload the instructions or some other JPEG image, or just make sure you upload the right thing. In this case, it's going to be a Word file. You can tell, excuse me, by the file extension .docx or by the icon over here. All right, so I did that. It says, do you want to submit for grading? You can say, no, I'm not ready. It'll save a copy of it on the server in case you lose it on your jump drive. Hopefully that won't happen. Or if you're ready, you can go ahead and submit it. Let's just say I'm going to submit it. Now remember, you have 3 attempts down here, and it will show you each attempt with some feedback on what you did wrong. You can go and just fix those things you did wrong on that same document on your jump drive, and then resubmit it again. Every time you submit it, you'll get a new report and a new grade over here. If you get a 0, that means you're submitting the wrong file. If you get a statement that says this does not have your unique code in it, somebody else downloaded that file on their account. So you're going to have to work on the file you download. You can't use somebody else's file. It's embedded in there in the binary. So they know who you are. They know who created the file. They know who it came from, and they know all about it. So I've got it set where it just won't let you upload. So I don't have to deal with it, and you don't have to deal with it. Just make sure that you're the one that downloads this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I'm ready, even though, obviously I wouldn't be. just to make this a little shorter than normal. It's grading it, preparing the result. Yours may be faster than this network here. We've got so many computers on it. And it takes me automatically into all the things I did wrong, right? And you can click on this and expand it, and it'll show you every little thing. Now, sometimes one error will be generated by a previous error. So just go through and fix everything. In my case, I didn't finish hardly anything. So let's see what I got. I got 4 out of 16. I got a 25, which basically if you get 16 out of 16, that's worth 20 points. And your points will show up in your SIMnet grade book, okay? You'll get used to it after you do the first chapter. It won't be so bad. You can download your SIMnet file if you've lost it. Hopefully you haven't because it's on your jump drive. So go back to assignments, and let's go to project 1 again. Now notice here, you know, it's going to take you to this initially, but maybe you needed to leave and come back to this. So you just go back to the project, and you'll see each one of 3 attempts. If you want to do 3, you don't have to. And you can click on that and go back into it, and you see the same thing. It shows you what you're doing wrong, and you can go in and fix it, submit the file again. Your score is going to go up every time. Now, these are worth a lot more because it's not holding your hand. I figure 5 points for just going through and doing the show me, let me try, but 20 points to actually put it into use. So all this stuff counts up. You need to do every one of these SIMnets and every one of these projects associated with a chapter. Very important. You know, it can make the difference in a letter grade or 2. So even though the midterm and the final are worth a lot, tons, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, that's basically it. And again, if you have any questions, just give me a holler. See you later.